What's going on, everybody? Coach Stefan here. I got Alexis with us. I've actually known Alexis for a very long time, and she is a new nurse. And she's actually one of the winners of our scholarship program. If you guys don't know, every year, usually once or twice a year, I don't know what we'll do this year, but we give out partial or full scholarships to our everyday heroes, to our nurses, our firefighters, our cops, because we know that, not everybody's in a place to invest. And I still want to make sure that we're making that career as fit as possible. And I'm keeping my word. And so Alexis has been with our program since October. Do you mind just introducing yourself and maybe telling them a little bit about like your lifestyle and your situation so people can get the vibe of where you're at?
Yeah, of course. Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm a nurse. I work knock shift, and currently, I spend a lot of my daytime hours sleeping. I have two kids of my own, and so finding time to work out, I have to work out when they're in school. Um, I won the full scholarship, and I've been going since November. And it's been wonderful because I get to have a scheduled workout routine. I get to go to the gym and just have something already made up for me.
Mhm.
I have to track what I'm eating, and I get to see, due to my in-body scans, like what my progress is, and it's just been great.
Yeah, yeah. And this interview is happening in March, so November, it's been like 4 months ish. You've gained
Hmm.
4 pounds of muscle, you dropped 2% body fat, and you're able to do your first chin up. So we
Yeah.
had some pretty big wins for sure. I remember you sharing that in the group, and that was awesome. And I know you're working really closely with Coach Riley, which she works with a lot of our females in the program. And I think you said it, you mentioned a couple things which I want to touch on. Having the accountability when you're a nurse and you have kids and you work a weird shift, and that's literally why we do it. But how has the experience been working with your coach and then customizing something to you? Because I would say that's probably the biggest objection and fear I get. Like, it won't work for me. It won't work for my schedule. Like, I'm too busy. Like, can you touch on that and how that's worked for you?
Yeah, of course. I feel like I've always gave myself many excuses, especially since working knock shift. Like, oh, I can't wake up and go work out, or oh, I have kids, I got to go pick them up, I can't go work out. But having Coach Riley, she's like told me to be honest with myself and pushed me and made me feel like, oh, if I don't get this done, I I have her, she's gonna get on me. So I feel like I have to, and it's awesome because it without her I wouldn't be going. I would just be giving myself excuse after excuse, which is what I've done in the past. So
Yeah. And I mean, and I've done a bunch of podcast episodes on this of like what we call legitimate crutches, right? Like they're real things. Like they're not like little frivolous excuses. Like those are actual barriers. Like you have kids and you work a weird shift, and it's really easy to be like, well, I have this, so I can't XYZ, right? And we like bring them into our identity. And so through the coaching process, we kind of want to peel back those like that first layer and be like, but could you make it work? Well, I guess I could. Okay, there we go. Right. And then we start that process. And I think that's the power of coaching is, and I'll be the first to admit, like I have coaching in other areas of my life, and it's those people calling you out, and not in a mean way, but to where you got to hold yourself accountable because it is hard to be brutally honest, right? Like it's cold, it's dark. I know you're in Oregon, I'm in Arizona, so it's beautiful right now. But where you are, you said during these winter months is usually when I like would pack on the weight, right? Because it's cold and it's gloomy and it's gross. And I always tell people, yeah, that's when you need a coach, right? To hold you accountable and to to make it work with you. And it sounds like Coach Riley has done a good job and just pursued in general with working around your schedule with kids and being a nurse. Would you say that's true?
yes, I would say that's true 100%. And I mean, I would say without pursuit, like I would just be continuing to only run and to not lift weights. And my comfort zone was in cardio. And
Mhm.
now I'm getting back to like the feeling good, lifting, or trying new things. Like
Yeah.
half the workouts Riley would send me, I'm like, I'm going to look weird doing this,
Yeah.
but I'd try and then I'd feel good. And I mean, half the workouts I'm doing, I don't see other people doing, which is also something that I think is awesome. And my husband said the other day, when I was doing, I forget what workout it was, but some older gentleman was watching me from behind. And then as soon as he got done watching me, he's like, huh. And then he went and grabbed whatever I was
Yeah.
doing and started doing it. He's like, I guess you're showing other people
Yeah. Yeah.
new things to do too. I was like, okay.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel it's nice to have something scheduled for me. So I don't have to think. I just go into the gym and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and two things I want to touch on. Number one is increased confidence, right? I mean, we'll just I've been in this industry 13 years. A lot of females are kind of scared of doing weights. Like that's not all, but some of them, right? It's an intimidating section, and so you go to your comfort zone and you're like, do one thing, and you feel kind of dumb doing it. You're like, oh, to the treadmill I go,
Yeah.
or to the elliptical, and unfortunately, that's just like probably not going to give the women a physique they want. I remember, we chatted before. You're like, hey, I've kind of had some booty gains. That's not going to happen
Mhm.
running, right?
Yeah,
Um,
no.
so, so that takes lifting, and honestly, men and women don't really need to lift that much differently. I mean, most of our clients kind of lift, I don't want to say identical, but like the same lifts, right? Like you and your husband, besides maybe you're doing more glutes or he's doing more arms, like the compound lifts are kind of the same. So it's cool to watch you and hear that you've built confidence, and even people are like checking you out, not in a weird way, but like, wow, this girl knows what she's doing. And and yeah, some of the things are going to be uncomfortable, but that's the process of like getting pushed out of your comfort zone, accomplishing it, and then being like, wow, hey, I can do this. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you felt a pretty big confidence increase,
I
right?
definitely have. Yes.
What about nutrition? That's like the like like
Yeah.
everybody's scary thing. Because they're like, okay, like I can go to the gym, but eating's hard. You got kids in the house, so you can't eat chicken, broccoli, and rice every meal. Well, you
Nope.
could, but it would be miserable. So how have you integrated nutrition to like fit your lifestyle, but also give you results? I mean, you literally burned body fat and built muscle in the same frame, and you increase your strength. So like, how did
Yeah.
you implement nutrition to help you do that?
So for me, I was a little worried because I thought that I just ate like crap anyway due to having kids.
Yeah.
But I did eat like crap due to working night shift. I wasn't eating enough calories. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be hungry throughout the day. Coach Riley told me that I needed to eat a gram of protein per body pound.
Yeah.
And I
Per
was like,
pound of body weight.
holy crap, that's so much protein. I can't eat that. And anyway, I've been hitting that goal, and I've had to supplement with some protein shakes, but I think that's how I'm getting my gains is so
Yeah.
eating the protein. But I've just increased my calorie intake and my protein intake. And I mean, my diet wasn't really that bad other
Yeah.
than adding those things. So, I mean, adding the protein shake and making sure I'm eating high protein meals and not such high fatty carb loaded foods. Um, I don't know. I just had to add that in,
Yeah.
but that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of fear around nutrition. I think really like, and I'm glad that it looks like you had some education and some light bulbs like, oh, okay, I'm not that bad. What I see specifically, because, my wife's a nurse, is she doesn't work night shift though, um, is what will happen. And this is a first responders, really any career field is, you eat like crap, like you said, but like when you say that, I'm like, well, what are you eating? And they're really just under eating their calories. And yes, their choices are not that great. So they're like, I'm eating terrible. And I'm like, okay, I agree that you're eating terrible. But if you kind of actually had the same like quality of food, like kind of a 50-50, most people don't eat total trash, right? They eat some processed stuff and had a muffin and they're like, oh, I ate like crap. But we look at most of their meals, they're eating a healthy dinner. I'm like, if you just adjust the portion sizes, AKA more protein, and you didn't really change up too much of the foods you ate, you just ate a different amount of it, you would actually get good results. Like I guarantee you're eating more food than when you started and you
And
burned body fat and you gained muscle and strength, right?
mm-hmm.
And so many women are very scared. They're like, eat more? No, no, no. I'm trying to lose weight. What did you say? And it is kind of a mental barrier to get past. But I'll tell you from somebody that's coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of males and females, every time you lift more and you eat more, you look better, you feel better, and you perform better. There's no two ways about it. Now you can't, you know, eat more calories and not train hard. You've been training hard, and hats off to you for like being consistent and going to the gym because nobody's making you. I mean, the accountability's there, right? Um, but this program is designed for people that are ready to make a change. It's not all butterflies and rainbows. And as you know, you've had to probably kind of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but it sounds like having that coach in your corner or even knowing, oh man, if I don't go to the gym, I can't check it off and Coach Riley's going to come after me. Like has just knowing you had a coach alone made you more consistent?
Oh, for sure. I think that's the only thing that's made me consistent. Uh, I feel like without Coach Riley and Pursuit, I wouldn't be going to the gym right now. Like I said, this is the time where I usually, pack on the pounds and then I have to work my butt off for summertime, and I won't have to do that this year. So,
Yeah, that's a good feeling. And honestly, it's kind of a vicious cycle, right? Like every year you kind of like get out of shape during winter and then you're like, oh man, it's getting nice out. And then you run and then it's, it's just this thing and it doesn't really allow you an opportunity to like get in better and better shape if that's a goal of yours, right? But now you're going into this summer, bathing suit ready, probably feels a little good. And summer's still a few months away from where you are, but um so yeah, I mean that's awesome. I'm glad it's really been a good and transformational. And I know you still have a while in the program, so I'm excited to see you continue and and yeah, just make some gains and make progress. And it's awesome watching you share your wins in the group. What would you say to somebody that's in your position? We do train a lot of medical. There's a lot of current nurses in the program, I'm sure but I feel like all first responders kind of in the same boat as far as like the weird shifts, long shifts, they have families. What would you say about somebody that is watching this and maybe because like on the fence or just scared, like I don't know if this is going to work for me? Like what would you say to that person?
I would say to just dive in. I'd say just to go for it and not to give up on your goals or yourself, because I feel like your body is one of the most important things to take care of, and you can't take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself. And I feel like you shouldn't have any excuses. I feel like as soon as you let go of those things that are holding you back,
Mhm.
it feels amazing. And I feel like joining Pursuit and getting a coach and having some structure is the best thing for you. So,
Yeah, no, I appreciate that feedback. And I mean, obviously I'm biased and I totally agree. But yeah, you said it well, is like having something, actually one more thing I want to touch on that you said that I just came to my mind. You're like, I like going to the gym and not having to think about it. I cannot tell you how much time people waste going to the gym and walking in saying, what am I going to do today? You should know that before you even step in the gym. And you could probably remember back when you did, like how much time you would waste, like, oh, I guess I'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And even if you went, and I could tell you from a coach that's done this too, for myself, even if you go and you work out hard, you always leave being like, I wonder if that worked. Like, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. And so you lose a little bit of motivation, right? Because you're like, oh
mhm.
man, I hope so. And we see men and women do this. They'll go and just kind of wing it for 3 or 4 months and they go, I'm not really getting results, but they're still going. They're still spending the time at the gym. They get frustrated because they don't have structure. They don't have like an actual plan from a exercise scientist and somebody that's experienced to program you. Like how nice has it been to just go up to the gym, just do what's on the app, which is pretty easy to use, right? Do what's on
Mhm.
the app and then just leave. Like mentally, you don't have to like even worry about it. How nice has that been?
It's been so nice. And I mean, having like a schedule on my phone too, and being able to shift whatever days I want to go to the gym, like that's so I can visually see what days I need to go to the gym around my work schedule. Like it's just been really easy.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that feeling of just walking in and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And the fact that they change every 4 weeks, my routine of whatever I'm doing for working out. I'm not even speaking English at this point,
Yeah. Yeah. Your phases.
but, but yeah, whenever they change, like it's nice to be doing something new, but also just learning, you know.
Yeah. 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 You want to keep it fresh. Like if your workout routine's boring and you're like, this sucks, like you're going to avoid it. Right. So we want to keep it fun. And then I think, having the open line of communication, right? If you guys don't know, our one-on-one clients get, basically 24/7 access directly to the coach. I know they're really quick to respond. We have weekly check-ins to hold you accountable where you fill out a form. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to kind of assess where you are. And it's holistic. We look at like your sleep, your hormones, your stress, your eating, like really from how you doing, Alexis? Right. We also ask every week, how's the program working for you? Do you need anything to change every week? And then also the last question, we're like, hey, this upcoming week, is there anything that's going to get in your way? So we're looking at the accountability portion, but also future pacing because the organization, especially if you're an everyday hero and you have kids and stuff, is very important. I live by a calendar. I like my Google Calendar looks like a bag of Skittles. It's just like super colorful. And I have to know what I'm doing at every single hour because I have so many tasks and everybody's like, how do you get everything done? I'm like, well, I have a workout program that is designed around my schedule, but also has flexibility, right? Like if you get called in late, if you get sick, if you got to pick your kids up, you just go in the app and you just move it and you let your coach know. It's super easy, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and
So
that's another thing is like anytime like I'm struggling or I feel like I'm doing great or I feel like I need to work on something, I just chat Coach Riley and she'll like message me back or be like, what's happening with this? What's happening with that, Alexis? Or I'll tell her I'm killing it in the gym today. Or someone told me that my back looked great. They came up behind me when I was doing pull-ups. And I told her, I was like, I'm so happy. Like they came and gave me the biggest compliment. And I've never had anyone compliment my back before. That's always been an area where I'm like, I used to think it wasn't feminine if you had
yeah,
like a masculine, like muscular back, but
yeah,
now I'm loving it,
yeah,
like, and so anyway, I'd messaged her and she was like, that's so great. But it's just nice to have that extra communication. It's not like a friend where you have to worry about, you feel like you're gloating. It's like
yeah.
someone there to just support you. And so that's been very nice.
Yeah. And it's cool to get somebody that's actually, I want to say like, I don't know if this is the right terminology, but non-biased. And the reason I say that is because some spouses will go, oh, my husband or my friend, it's different, right? Like
Yeah.
I've tried to get my wife and vice versa to like do things of fitness. I'm like, no, you do your thing, I do my thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can both be fit and kind of like come together. Cause I always tell people, please don't try to be your spouse's coach or vice versa. It never turns out good. Or your best friend, they have like the best intentions, but it usually doesn't go well, right? Like some person stops or they get busy, then you stop. And when you have this like third party that you're investing in and you know that that's their job, this is what they do 40 hours a week, this is their full-time thing, they're designed, they're an expert. Like it's a different feeling, right? And I know because I've had coaches too, and I'm a coach. So I've even had coaches and the feeling of somebody programming me and I have to even check in with them. Like I always turn up the heat a little bit. Like I attack my workouts different. I'm much more accountable with my training and my nutrition. And yeah, it works really well. So I appreciate you jumping on. Awesome feedback. Great experience. Like I said, you've been crushing it. You should be proud of yourself. Um, More than honored to be able to give you the scholarship. And you've been a great representation of, what Pursuit's about, our everyday hero community. And you've been crushing it. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity too.
Yeah, of course.